Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? Or found yourself searching for the right word in the middle of a conversation? You're not alone. And no, it doesn't mean you're losing your mind. These little lapses happen to all of us, especially as we get older. But here's the good news. Just like we can exercise our bodies to stay strong, we can exercise our minds too. And it doesn't require fancy brain games or crossword puzzles, though those can help. It's more about staying mentally active in simple, everyday ways. Staying sharp into your 80s isn't just about avoiding memory loss. It's about feeling confident, staying independent, and keeping your mind working for you, not against you. Whether you're still working, volunteering, or enjoying retirement, your brain is your most important tool. And with just a few easy habits, you can keep it in great shape, like tuning up an old, reliable car so it runs like new. Today, I want to share 6 easy mental exercises you can do daily or almost daily that help strengthen your memory, focus, and clarity. These aren't complicated or overwhelming. In fact, some of them might surprise you with how enjoyable they are. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore how you can stay sharp, alert, and mentally energized well into your 80s and beyond. Let's start with something you might not immediately think of as a mental workout: talking to someone new. It might sound simple, but engaging in a real conversation, especially with someone outside your usual circle, challenges your brain in amazing ways. When you talk to a new person, your brain is working to listen, respond, understand different perspectives, and maybe even recall stories or names. That's a lot of mental activity right there. Think about the last time you had a good conversation with someone at the grocery store or a neighbor you hadn't spoken to in a while. Did you feel more alert afterward? That's no accident. Social interaction stimulates memory centers in the brain and can even help delay cognitive decline. You don't need a large circle of friends to benefit either. Just a few meaningful chats a week can make a big difference. Next time you're at your local coffee shop, try saying hello to someone you haven't met before. Ask a question, share a story. You'll be surprised at how mentally refreshing it can be. Now, if you're more on the quiet side, don't worry. There's another way to stretch those mental muscles. Let's talk about learning something slightly outside your comfort zone. Notice I said slightly. You don't have to become fluent in a new language or pick up quantum physics, but learning something new, even just a little bit, tells your brain, hey, stay curious, stay active. Maybe there's a hobby you've always been curious about: knitting, gardening, playing the harmonica. Even something as simple as trying a new recipe with unfamiliar ingredients activates parts of your brain involved in memory, problem solving, and creativity. If you've always stuck to the same TV shows, try watching a documentary on a topic you don't know much about. If you've been using the same route to your grocery store for the past 10 years, try a different one. These tiny changes shake up your routine and give your brain a little workout. Let me give you a real-life example. I once knew a man in his 70s who decided to learn how to use a tablet. He wasn't particularly tech-savvy, but he wanted to stay connected with his grandchildren who lived across the country. At first, it was frustrating, but little by little, he started figuring things out. Before long, he was sending emails, playing music, and even learning about birdwatching through online videos. His memory improved, he felt more connected to his family, and he actually started enjoying the challenge. He told me once, "I feel like I'm 20 years younger, just because I'm learning again." That feeling, that sense of growth, of waking up the brain and using it for something new, is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. And remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. In fact, the struggle of learning something new is where the magic happens. Mistakes, forgetfulness, slow progress, these are all signs that your brain is stretching and growing, just like a muscle. So we've talked about conversation and curiosity, both powerful, simple ways to stay mentally sharp. But here's something that often gets overlooked: being fully present in whatever you're doing. It sounds basic, but it's incredibly powerful. Whether you're washing dishes, watering plants, or folding laundry, bringing your full attention to the task at hand trains your brain to focus. And focus is key to memory. Think about how often your mind drifts while doing everyday things. You're folding socks, but you're thinking about dinner. You're sipping your tea, but your thoughts are racing about tomorrow's plans. That's natural, of course, but gently guiding your mind back to the present moment builds mental strength over time. It's like lifting a tiny weight over and over. Eventually, that part of your brain responsible for attention and clarity gets stronger. A simple way to practice this is what some people call mindful moments. You don't need to sit in silence or meditate unless you want to. Just pick one daily task, like brushing your teeth, and do it with full awareness. Notice the feeling of the brush, the taste of the toothpaste, the sound of the water. It might sound silly, but it helps your brain get used to focusing again, which can spill over into your memory, your conversations, even your sleep. Now, I know we all have our off days, times when we feel forgetful or foggy and just can't seem to focus. That's completely normal. But the beauty of these simple habits is that they're gentle. They don't require hours of commitment or expensive tools. They're built into your everyday life, and they remind you that no matter your age, your brain can keep growing, changing, and improving. And as you start noticing those little moments, just being present, not rushing, it's amazing how your minds to feel sharper with each passing day. But there's another simple habit that's often overlooked, and yet it can be incredibly powerful for your brain. It's something you probably already do without realizing its full value. I'm talking about purposeful reminiscing. Now, you might be thinking, I remember the past all the time. What's new about that? And it's true, we all reflect on memories now and then. But this is different. This is about intentional recall, taking a few minutes to focus on a specific memory, really savoring the details, and when possible, even sharing that memory with someone else. When you take time to recall a meaningful event, like your first job, a family vacation from decades ago, or even something as simple as a favorite meal your mother used to cook, you're not just remembering, you're reactivating deep parts of your brain tied to long-term memory. You're calling on names, places, emotions, sequences of events. That process is like taking your brain to the gym, and the best part, it feels good. It connects you to your story, your identity, and sometimes it even sparks joy. You can make this part of your day without any pressure. Maybe while you're having your morning coffee, you ask yourself, what was I doing this time 30 years ago? Or you pick up an old photo album and let the memories roll in. Even better, call a friend or family member and say, hey, remember when we used to? You'll not only give your brain a boost, but strengthen your emotional bonds too, which is just as important for mental sharpness. Speaking of strengthening bonds, let's move into something that might surprise you. Teaching or explaining something to someone else. It doesn't have to be formal or complicated. But when you explain how to do something or share a skill you've learned, it gives your brain a wonderful challenge. Maybe you've been gardening for years and you show your grandchild how to plant tomatoes, or you explain to a neighbor how you manage your grocery budget. Even telling a story with a lesson behind it counts. When you teach, your brain has to organize information, retrieve it clearly, and present it in a way that makes sense. That process activates multiple areas of the brain at once: memory, language, logic. And that's exactly the kind of mental cross-training that helps keep your mind young. And let's be honest, at this stage in life, you've got a lot to teach. You've lived through changing times, raised families, worked jobs, solved problems, and probably learned a trick or two along the way. Sharing that knowledge doesn't just help others, it reinforces your own mental clarity. Plus, it reminds you that you have wisdom, purpose, and value right now, every day. Now let's talk about something a bit lighter, but no less important: play. That's right, good old-fashioned play. Whether it's a word game, a puzzle, a card game with friends, or even a fun app on your tablet, giving yourself permission to enjoy playful mental challenges is incredibly beneficial for your brain. And no, you don't have to be a master at Sudoku or learn chess overnight. The goal isn't to compete, it's to engage. Games and puzzles stimulate your brain's problem-solving skills, attention span, and short-term memory. And the bonus? They can be fun. They take the pressure off, make you laugh, and remind you that learning doesn't always have to be serious business. If you prefer games, you can do solo, try crosswords, logic puzzles, or word searches. If you like something more social, how about a game of cards with friends once a week? Even playing a trivia game with your grandkids can light up your brain like a spark. One woman I know, in her late 70s, joined an online Scrabble group just to stay mentally active. At first, she was unsure. Technology wasn't her strong suit, but now she's playing with people from all over the country, making friends and staying mentally sharp at the same time. She told me, "It's the best part of my day." That's the power of play. It brings joy and mental fitness together. So whether you're reminiscing about the good old days, teaching someone how to cook your favorite stew, or trying to beat your personal best on a crossword puzzle, every one of these activities adds up. They don't just fill time, they strengthen your brain in small, steady ways. And that's what really matters: consistent, meaningful engagement. It's not about being perfect or never forgetting a name again. It's about building a life where your mind stays active, curious, and alive. A life where every day gives your brain a little something to chew on. Because even into your 80s and beyond, your brain can continue to grow, adapt, and surprise you. Your brain can continue to grow, adapt, and surprise you, even now. And that brings us to one final, beautiful habit that ties everything together: doing something creative. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not an artist, or I've never been creative. But creativity isn't about painting a masterpiece or writing a novel, unless you want to, of course. It's about expressing yourself in any way that feels natural and enjoyable. And believe it or not, this kind of expression lights up the brain in incredible ways. Think about the last time you lost yourself in a simple task. Maybe you were arranging flowers, doodling, journaling, or even just humming a tune while cooking. That gentle state of creativity does wonders for your mental clarity and emotional well-being. It engages your imagination, improves problem solving, and even reduces stress, all of which help keep your mind sharp. You might try writing a short memory from your life. It doesn't have to be polished. Just jot down a story that matters to you, or pull out a coloring book, play with clay, knit a scarf, rearrange your furniture, or come up with your own recipe. Creativity isn't a luxury or a talent, it's a muscle. And the more you use it, the more your brain stays flexible, focused, and energized. One gentleman I knew used to repair old radios. He wasn't an engineer, just someone who loved tinkering. Every time he worked on one, he'd light up. He said it made him feel like he was solving little mysteries with his hands and mind. That's creativity too. It's not about results, it's about the joy of the process, the stimulation, the challenge. So, as we come to the end of our time together, let's take a deep breath and think about everything we've explored. Staying sharp into your 80s doesn't mean chasing perfection. It means showing up every day for your brain or brain the way you would for a dear friend, with care, attention, and kindness. You don't need a strict schedule or a complicated routine. Just a few simple moments each day. A good conversation, learning something new, being present, recalling memories, sharing what you know, playing for fun, and letting yourself be creative in whatever way feels good to you. Each of these is like a gentle stretch for your mind. You're not trying to be younger, you're trying to stay you, engaged, aware, curious. These habits won't just improve your memory, they'll make your days feel more full, more connected, and more joyful. And here's something I want you to remember, truly remember. It is never too late. Never too late to grow, to learn, to create, to connect. Your brain is still alive with potential, no matter your age. You are not finished, you are evolving. So go easy on yourself when you forget a name or misplace your glasses. That's human. What matters is that you keep moving forward with intention, with heart, and with the quiet confidence that you're caring for the most powerful tool you've ever had, your mind. If you found any of this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Maybe even tell us one mental exercise you're going to try this week. And if you think someone else in your life could use this encouragement, go ahead and share this video with them. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want more gentle, practical tips to help you live your best life at any age. Because that's what this is all about. Not just getting older, but growing wiser, stronger, and more alive, one day at a time. Here's to you, your story, your strength, and your beautiful, powerful mind. You've come this far, and there's still so much ahead. Keep going. Keep growing. You've got this.